What all-electric four-door sedan that costs less than $150,000 can sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour faster than a $3 million Bugatti Chiron, comfortably seats 5 passengers, and is able to drive itself? The answer to that question is, of course, the Tesla PLAID Model S. Let's talk all about the PLAID Model S and compare it to some other supercars and talk about why the PLAID Model S is really a supercar in disguise. I'm Jonathan, and welcome to Cleanerwatt. When you hear the term supercar, the picture of a four-door luxury sedan is probably not the first picture that comes to mind. However, the soon-to-come Plaid and Plaid Plus Tesla Model S may not look like a supercar from the outside, but when it comes to performance, the Model S is quicker than supercars, some that are even more than 10 times the Plaid Model S's cost. In Tesla's recent Q4 2020 investor presentation, Tesla mentioned the fact that the new Plaid Model S is the fastest accelerating production car ever made. The Plaid Model S is the quickest when it comes to going from 0 to 60 miles per hour, and also the quickest production car when it comes to sprinting the quarter mile. Now, in just a minute, we'll dive into some of the supercars that Tesla put on this list that the Model S beat out. However, I'd like to take just a moment and talk about the Plaid Model S, its basic specs, features, and pricing. At the end of the Battery Day presentation last year, Elon Musk revealed the details about the Plaid Model S. However, with the new refreshed Model S that Tesla just revealed, they got rid of the performance model and replaced that with a Plaid model. Now when you go to Tesla's website, there are two different choices of the Plaid Model S, the Plaid and the Plaid Plus. Deliveries of the regular Plaid Model S will begin this month, and the Plaid Plus should be available sometime later on in the year. Both models offer stellar performance. However, the more expensive Plaid Plus will offer over 500 miles of range and a quicker quarter mile time than the regular Plaid model. This Plaid Model S will, of course, feature the brand new refreshed interior that Tesla gave the Model S, and it'll benefit from features like the heat pump that Tesla added to the Model S. I recently did an entire video where I outlined all the changes that were made to the Model S, and I'll make sure that there is a link to that video in the description if you're curious about all the changes that were made to the Tesla Model S. Now that I've given a basic overview of the Plaid Model S, I want to step back just a minute before we actually do a side-by-side spec comparison against some of the supercars that Tesla mentioned in the Q4 2020 investor letter. I think it's important that we think about what the Plaid Model S really is and why it's such an exceptional vehicle. The Plaid Model S is a regular four-door sedan with plenty of cargo room and a very luxurious modern interior. The Plaid Model S could make a great daily driver vehicle and could fit a family. As well, it's great for trips because it has a really long range and access to Tesla's supercharger network. One of the details that really stood out as I dove into the details of these cars that Tesla compared the Tesla Model S to when it comes to the fastest accelerating production vehicles is that most of the cars on this list are not practical at all. Most of these other supercars are more single-purpose vehicles that are good for performance and the track, but they're not great as a daily driver. So the second fastest accelerating vehicle that Tesla had on their list that the Model S beat out was the Porsche 918 Spyder. This is a two-seat, limited production, mid-engine plug-in hybrid supercar. It was produced from September 2013 through June of 2015, and it had an MSRP of around $845,000. In total, Porsche made around 918 of these vehicles, and when it comes to performance, it's able to sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a blistering 2.1 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 9.7 seconds. The third quickest vehicle on the list was the Porsche 911 Turbo S. This iconic Porsche 911 has been in production since 1963, and in its current 2021 version, the Porsche 911 Turbo has an MSRP of around $203,000, and although it's technically a four-seater, the rear seats only provide enough room for small children. It's able to go 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.2 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 10.1 seconds. The next vehicle on the list is the Lamborghini Huracan Performante. The Performante is the track version of the Lamborghini Huracan, and it's a two-seat, aggressively styled supercar. It had an MSRP of around $274,000 and was produced between 2017 and 2019. It's able to go 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.2 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 10.2 seconds. The next vehicle on the list is the Dodge Charger SRT Demon. This is the lowest cost car on this list, starting at just around $85,000. The Demon was a limited production performance version of the Challenger SRT Hellcat, and this wide body version was available for the 2018 model year with a production of around 3,300 units. According to Wikipedia quote, the Demon only included a front driver's seat as standard, and no other seats front or rear in the vehicle. To replace the rear seats, Dodge included rear roll bars and a 4-point harness installed on it for the driver's seat. This impressive vehicle can go 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.3 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 10.7 seconds. The next vehicle on the list is the Bugatti Chiron. This nearly $3 million exotic mid-engine two-seat supercar is a true work of art, and it's been in production since 2016. This vehicle is equipped with a massive 16-cylinder engine, and this supercar can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.4 seconds and reach a top speed of over 260 miles per hour and sprint the quarter mile in just 9.4 seconds. The next vehicle on this list is the Porsche Taycan Turbo S. The Turbo S is the performance version of Porsche's new all-electric four-door sports car, the Taycan. The Taycan features iconic Porsche styling and an all-electric powertrain that offers impressive performance and practicality with a four-door sedan layout. It can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in an impressive 2.4 seconds and sprint the quarter mile in just 10.3 seconds. This beautiful car is an amazing example of just what Porsche can do in the EV space. The last vehicle that we'd like to talk about on this list is the Nissan GT-R Nismo. This $210,000 two-door sports car does offer space for 4 passengers, but the rear seats are described as small and cramped. This car can sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds and complete the quarter mile in just 10.8 seconds. So now that we've done a basic overview of the vehicles that Tesla put on this list, I'd like to take a moment and look at a chart with side-by-side performance specs and see how this stacks up. As you can see, when it comes to the quickest 0 to 60 mile per hour time and the quickest quarter mile, the Tesla PLAID and PLAID Plus Model S win by a decent margin. The top speed of the PLAID and PLAID Plus Model S are right in line with most of these other sports cars, with the exception, of course, of the Bugatti. The MSRP of the PLAID and PLAID Plus Model S is very good when compared to most of these other vehicles, and the only vehicle cheaper on this list than the PLAID Model S is, of course, the Dodge Challenger SRT Demon. So as I mentioned before we dove into the overview of some of these competitors' vehicles, when it comes to a practical everyday driver or family car, the only 2 cars that fit this bill are the Tesla PLAID Model S and the Porsche Taycan. The rest of the sports cars are more geared towards performance and less towards practicality. When it comes to a comparison between the Taycan Turbo S and the PLAID Model S, the Model S offers better performance and more roomy interior, a much lower price tag, and more range. On top of that, Tesla is the clear leader when it comes to technology, and it should be capable of level 4, level 5 full autonomy in the not too distant future. Now in just a minute, I want to dive into the track performance of the PLAID Model S because it's not just a straight line performance vehicle, but it also does really good on the track. But before I do that, I want to take just a moment and talk about some of the other vehicles that are really more in the class of the PLAID Model S and see how it compares to those vehicles. When it comes to EV competition, the Porsche Taycan and the Lucid Air are good competition for the PLAID Model S. But as you can see, the PLAID and PLAID Plus Model S, they're both cheaper than the Porsche Taycan and Lucid Air, and they beat these vehicles when it comes to 0 to 60 mile per hour times, quarter mile times, and also top speed. When it comes to comparing the PLAID Model S to other non-EV 4-door luxury sedans, you can see that as compared to an equivalent Mercedes, Porsche, or BMW M8, that the PLAID and PLAID Plus Model S are cheaper and quicker as well. So as you can see, when it comes to straight line performance, the Plaid and Plaid Plus Model S are very impressive, not only with cars in its class, but cars that are really extremely above its class, two-door supercars, and it even keeps up with those. However, it's important to note that the Plaid and Plaid Plus Model S will also be very impressive on the track as well. Although the Plaid Plus Model S is a four-door sedan, it can still hang with the big boys and other two-door exotic sports cars even at the track. On September of 2019, the official Tesla Twitter account said that the Plaid Model S can achieve 720 at the Nürburgring. Also, according to this Electrek article, they were able to achieve an unofficial time on this track of 7 minutes and 13 seconds. So when you look at the official Nürburgring times for street legal vehicles, you can see how some of these vehicles that we've talked about in this video stack up. Of the vehicles we've talked about, the Lamborghini Huracan is the fastest, the 918 Spider is the second fastest, the GTR Nismo, the third fastest on our list, and the 2021 Plaid Model S was able to fall in at 7 minutes and 13 seconds, as we mentioned, just slightly slower than the Nissan GTR Nismo. When it comes to the Laguna Seca track, the Plaid Model S was able to beat out the Lucid Air and the Porsche Taycan Turbo S. So when it comes to the track performance, it may not be the very top of the list, but the Plaid Model S can hang with the big boys at the track, and when it comes to cars in its class, it beats those pretty handily. So in conclusion, the Plaid and Plaid Plus Model S are insanely quick, offer great track performance, while still maintaining practicality for everyday use. The Plaid Model S is truly like no other vehicle currently available, and it further cements Tesla's lead in the EV space. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through to the end. Please make sure that you remember to click that like button if you did enjoy this video. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing so you'll know when new content comes out. I also wanted to take a moment to thank the Patreon supporters who support me every month and help make this content possible. A special thank you to my performance supporters and also the other supporters listed on the screen. If you'd like to find out more about the Patreon community and how you can support my work, I'll put a link in the description below. Thank you so much.